how would you leverage Haryana when it is not even your priority of choices in either? Why is the Indo-Canadian relations of late? Why are they strained? What are the causes?
Suppose you are ambassador to Pakistan and you are given a mandate that you please try to bring Pakistan on the negotiating table.
May I come in?
Yeah, please come in.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
So, Muskan, tell us something about yourself.
My name is Muskan Khurana and I'm from Panipat. I'm 24 years old. I did my schooling from an all-girls boarding school called Vidya Devi General School, Hisar. After that, I did my graduation in Political Science Honours from Indraprasth College for Women, University of Delhi, followed by Masters in the same subject from Jawaharlal Nehru University. My hobbies are playing badminton and traveling. I've also played badminton at the national level. Yes.
National level?
Yes.
Okay. From you represented a state?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
Sir, Haryana.
Haryana. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Okay, tell me, you've given this thing, foreign service as your first choice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you know a lot about international relations and...
I tried to, yes.
You tried to. Okay. Tell me, what do you know about the G20?
Yes, sir.
G20 group of nations.
So,
and what is the relevance? Because India is the president this time. So what is it? What are we doing? What is the agenda?
So G20 is an intergovernmental body made of 20 largest economies of the world.
Okay.
It was made in 1999, post-financial crisis, Asian financial crisis in 1998, 1997, 1998. So it represents about 85% of the global GDP.
Okay.
And a huge chunk of global trade and population. India has assumed the presidency this year, and it is a great moment of pride for India because till now, as a developing country, India has been largely accepting the agenda shaped by the developed countries of the world. But today, India is at a position where it is shaping the agenda for the world, and it is also voicing the concerns of the global South. So it is a moment of pride for India to be at the helm of this institution.
Excellent. How does India plan to shape the world agenda through its digital mission? What is the motto for that in G20?
So through the digital mission, first of all, India has highlighted the achievements of its own. Yeah. For example, the UPI revolution in India, how we have reduced the use of cash and created a digital economy. Apart from that, so the digital public infrastructure that we've created, the adoption of 5G, how we have expanded internet through BharatNet to Indian villages. So these achievements are being highlighted.
Two more.
Sir, I cannot recall.
There are three things which India wants to highlight
in the digital space.
In the digital sphere in G20, and what is the idea to help countries achieve on the basis of those three achievements, which we have, three main things which we have achieved?
So the other one is also the bank accounts, the Jan-Dhan.
UPI, you already said.
The Jan-Dhan and
the other countries are not bothered about Jan-Dhan.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, I cannot recall it.
What is the number which you use when you apply for the UPSC?
The number that I used when I...
Aadhaar card?
Aadhaar card.
Aadhaar system?
Jan-Dhan, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Aadhaar is a technology which they want to...
Yes, sir.
Then the third thing, which we have been extremely successful in during COVID.
The CoWIN portal.
CoWIN portal.
Yes, sir.
The CoWIN platform. These are the three digital things which they want to...
CoWIN platform, the Aadhaar, and the UPI.
UPI. These are the three things they want to push in the G20 agenda.
Yes.
And the motto is data for development.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, you are a GNUite, and GNU is known for its protests and all. So why do you think whenever a G20 summit takes place in any country, there are a large amount of protests, especially in Europe and the US? What are these protests for? What are they protesting about?
So, if I may, sir, based on my knowledge, I think first of all in India, we're seeing protests. Recently...
No, I'm talking about globally, everywhere. Whenever a G20 summit takes place, you will read about huge amounts of protests, tear gassing and all kinds of things happen.
So I'm not 100%, I'm not sure, but if I may take a guess.
Yeah, please.
So it could be, so firstly, because of the environment unsustainability, because these conferences have huge carbon print, and also, for example, in India, we're seeing how the slums how people have been displaced, especially in the national capital, for the beautification that we're seeing for the G20. So these are also leading to protests. Apart from that,
Oh, see, Indian reasons are not enough. I'm talking about a global thing. The same groups go everywhere, wherever there's a G20 conference, they go and protest. You'll start reading about them in India also, but India doesn't have so many of those groups, but Europe does.
so is
And
it about the left parties, the left? So I'm sorry, sir.
it's something about, the world economies opening up the markets in the world, capturing the markets to help their own huge corporations take over and exploit those markets. And, the local markets, smaller people, they get disadvantaged. So these are the protests, anti-globalization protests. These are basically anti-globalization protests. They take everywhere whenever a G20 occurs.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, tell me, you want to join the foreign service. If we make you the ambassador to Pakistan, Indian ambassador to Pakistan, what will you do to improve relations?
Sir, if I made the Indian ambassador of Pakistan, I would try to focus on the commonalities between the two countries and on the soft issues, which can actually trickle down to cooperation at the greater level. For example, if we can start cross-border trade to some extent, if we can have cultural diplomacy, for example, we can start having the cricket matches that we used to have earlier, better connectivity. Since I have to work with the NE as well, but these are the points that I will put forward so that there's better interaction on issues that are non-controversial and non-political.
So, what is the main reason these things are not happening? The current ambassadors are not doing it, not able to do it. What is the main reason? One point reason.
So counter-terrorism. Right now, we have said that we are not having talks with at the same time while the border is volatile. So that is the reason.
What about Nepal? Do you have any idea why we are lagging behind in relationship with Nepal?
So there are certain issues. For example, the border issue is there, but primarily I feel there has been political instability in Nepal, and China has been making inroads in terms of infrastructure, better economic diplomacy. So I feel, sir, Nepal has been trying to balance both India and China to its own advantage, and that is what we can see.
Sir.
Okay. You're from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
And assuming you are posted as an ambassador somewhere or even ICCR, right, as an IFS officer, you would have to leverage India's soft power, specifically the Mahabharata. You have to leverage events about Mahabharata and soft power tourism relating to it. How can you do it? How can you sort of leverage? I'm not using the word sell really. How would you leverage Haryana when it is not even your priority of choices in either as a home state or something, unless there is a very personal reason? Why is it that Haryana is not your first choice, not even in your fifth choice?
Sir, in terms of the
cadre allocations.
Yes. Sir, nothing against Haryana. I think it's a great state. I have grown up in Haryana all my life. But particularly, sir, I was interested and attracted to the Agmat cadre. I thought the kind of diversity of work opportunities that it will offer me to work in different states and territories that I can't even imagine.
That's a pro-Agmat stance. Mm-hmm. I'm asking you the anti-Haryana stance.
Sir, I don't think it's a zero-sum game. Just because I'm pro-Agmat does not mean I'm anti-Haryana.
Okay. It appears as Haryana 0.
So that is by default.
Okay. All right. Point taken. Now that Honorable Prime Minister has just called the Egyptian, the entire goodwill visit of 144 soldiers and their leaders, and the Egyptian president was here. Why Egypt?
Um,
Or is it just, I like you, you like me, please come?
no, sir. Sir, inviting somebody as chief guest of Republic Day parade in India is of great symbolic significance, and there are reasons behind it. Firstly, Egypt and India have had civilizational relations since past, and also the leaders of the two countries were constructing.
So we did with China.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is what you speak when you're already there over a banquet,
Yes, sir.
right?
Say for my country, sir.
Please do.
Sir, while the leaders of the two countries were also, were created NAM, cooperated in the creation of NAM along with other leaders, 5 leaders. We see that in the past there has the ties have not been growing constructively to a great extent. So we felt that there was a need to revive the great relations that we had in the past. Also, sir, Egypt is strategically located. 12% of India's trade passes through the Suez Canal. Egypt has the largest military in the region. It is also an aspiring importer of Indian arms. So, keeping these things in mind.
Okay, point taken. Why did the Honorable External Affairs Minister go to Argentina recently? We don't have any border issues with them. We have hardly any strategic ties in the past. We certainly don't have any civilizational ties. Same logic I am trying to get across to. So why is not even a Suez Canal passing through? So why Argentina of all places?
Sir, sir, in my opinion, if I may take a guess, sir, India traditionally has not had very strong ties in terms of cooperation and collaboration with Latin American states. And now India is trying to build its ties with these countries, and that is why perhaps I'm.
No. There's
And
some
also
specific reasons. Let's
FIFA
move on.
World Cup victory also happened in Argentina, so the minister also
Collateral.
congratulated.
Collateral. See, these pleasantries are exchanged over the banquets when you're already there.
Yes, sir.
You have something to speak and fill up 30 minutes of your speech. So you say all these, we have had great relations, FIFA, etc. There are certain specifics we go into. Very quickly, why is the Indo-Canadian relations of late, why are they strained? What are the causes?
Sir, sir, one of the causes is the Khalistan issue. India believes that the Canadian government has not been very constructive in calling out these people who've been involved in Khalistani militancy, to use the word militancy instead of terrorism. And also, sir, recently there were the farmer protests that happened.
Okay, just one last question. How has the development in Malaysia over the past few years been of India's making or India's liking? Everybody is talking about Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Malaysia, some things have happened.
Sir, I'm not sure. I don't know the answer.
Take a wild guess. Just 10,
Sir,
15
I know
seconds.
the Prime Minister, Mr. Mahathir Mohamad, took charge, and so there was some problem with regard to the palm oil also. Malaysia is one of the largest exporters of palm oil, and it had placed restrictions with regard to its export. But sir, I'm not sure of the exact.
Actually, we put restrictions on its import, which is why they were feeling threatened and not. We leaned on them because they were not being very nice to India. Anyway, thank you.
Muskan, you should smile more. Okay. See, you have attended International Academic Exchange Program held at St. Clement's School,
Yes.
Canada.
Yes, sir.
What was your experience?
Sir, I was 16 years old when I got a scholarship to attend this academic exchange program at a private school called the St. Clement's School, Canada. I had a great experience because I was very young to travel to another country at that time alone and to stay in an absolutely different culture. I stayed with a Canadian family there, and I got to attend classes in Canada. This was a great experience, and I felt like over that period, people in that school got to know about India through me, Indian education, Indian culture. I celebrated Diwali there, and I felt like a young ambassador in that of India in that school, and
Great.
that in fact inspired me to pursue the
Great.
service.
Coming to the education part, what we can learn from them and what we can teach them as per the education is concerned.
Yes, sir. Sir, based on my experience, I felt like the classroom interaction there was more vibrant since the classroom sizes were much smaller. In fact, I remember our classrooms were also like a similar round table, wherein the teacher and the students would be sitting on a round table and they could have more one-on-one interaction. There was more focus on less focus on the theoretical knowledge and more on practical studies. Even in classes 8 and 9, we had simple science experiments that we did not have very often in India. Sir, also I felt that students had more flexibility in terms of the subjects they wanted to choose. For example, my partner in grade 12 had subjects like law and calculus and history and art all in one, something that does not happen for students in India.
Okay. You have not given your choice for police service, very low on the police.
Yes,
What is the reason?
sir, I have ranked the police service as the sixth.
The choice is number 6 or something?
Yeah.
So it's on the sixth.
Why normally people choose it second, third, something like that?
Sir, I think all the services are equally respectable, but based on my skill set and based on my competency, I think I'm more inclined to serve in services which are more dialogue oriented and which build on the
Even
soft power. of
police
India.
can also dialect doesn't use always the stick.
That is true, sir. That is very
And
true.
you have a good personality to become a good police officer. We
Yes,
want
sir.
country want more women police officers. So,
Yes, sir.
so next time if you hopefully you get through this time, but police should be in the priority list. Okay. Anyhow, that is personal choice. Now coming back to the question which my colleague asked earlier about your ambassador to Pakistan. See, all this soft power and the thing culture, we keep on using it. We use it for sometimes this happens and then it stops and all. Problem. Main problem is the J&K, Kashmir. Suppose you are an ambassador to Pakistan and you are given a mandate that you please try to bring Pakistan on the negotiating table for the terms to settle this issue. See, this issue ultimately has to be settled. So what will be the points you will like to convince to Pakistani government through any channel, back channel or any diplomatic channels, what efforts you can make and what steps can be taken, what will be the solution you can give?
Sir, you're right to point out that Kashmir remains the main issue. Sir, I will try to highlight, sir, I think the Pakistani economy is in tatters at this point. It is literally in shambles. And I think I will try to use that as the connecting point. I will try to highlight how better ties with India can actually help Pakistani economy. If Pakistani economy in terms of the costs that are created by terrorism and by having our forces at the border, by how better trade can facilitate their growth, and how if there is peace at the border, and especially in J&K, more countries will be interested in investing in Pakistan. So I think the economy aspect is something that the Pakistani Prime Minister has also in recent times been inclined to engage on. So that is what I'll focus on.
And do you think the time has come that Pakistan will change its stance on Kashmir?
Sir, unfortunately, I don't see that happening because Pakistan is a very divided state. There is a deep state. There is a lack of consensus even between the civilian government and the military government. I hope that happens, but I don't see that happening in the short term.
Okay, one last question. There was a CEA, Citizenship Amendment Act. Have you heard of that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So the Citizenship Amendment Act was passed in 2019. Through this act, the government wants to extend Indian citizenship to migrants of 6 religious communities from Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Pakistan who've been staying in India before 31st December 2014.
Why some sections of our Indian population was having some concerns about that? What was their concern?
So the concern raised was that the Muslim community has been excluded from this amendment because other communities such as the Hindus, Parsis, Jains, Christians, etc. have been covered, but the Muslims have been ignored.
That is Muslims of the Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh.
Yes,
not-
sir. These who've been staying in India till 31st December 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Muskan,
Yes, ma'am.
you mentioned G20 economies. What did you mean by that? How many countries?
Ma'am, there are 19 countries and the 20th is the Economic Union.
Okay, the European Union.
European Union. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
European
okay.
Union.
Okay, all right. No,
I'm
no.
so sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. And okay, all right. How many countries do we have a land border with?
If I may count,
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Pakistan, we have with China, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Myanmar,
Okay,
Laos.
just, I would say keep it on your fingertips, okay?
5 countries.
You said Myanmar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, okay. So, and which are the countries we have water issues with?
Ma'am, we have water issues with Bangladesh on the Teesta water river.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have with China with regard to the Brahmaputra.
Mm-hmm.
In recent times, again, the Indus water issue has flared up with Pakistan.
What's it about?
Ma'am, the Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960, brokered by the World Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And in recent times, Pakistan is willing to take the issue for adjudication because it has raised dispute with regard to the 2 hydroelectric dams constructed by India on 2 western rivers, Chenab and Jhelum.
And what's India doing about it?
Ma'am, India believes that we have to stick to the mandate of the treaty, Article 19, which says that we need graded conflict resolution. At the first level, we need to resolve it at the intergovernmental level, then the neutral expert, and then adjudication. So this is a dispute that has arisen, and India has sent a notice for a renegotiation of the treaty to Pakistan.
Do you think India needs? Do you think India's stand is correct?
Yes, ma'am. I think India's stand is correct. I don't see a problem with it because India has in the past not utilized the provision of using the water of the Western River also, which according to the treaty, India can utilize some can build run of the river projects, dams on the Western rivers as well, which India has not utilized in the past. Now that India is doing it, I don't think there's any problem with it because it is very much in the mandate of the treaty.
Okay, and what do you understand by neighborhood first policy?
Ma'am, neighborhood first policy is about India trying to build strong ties, prioritizing its relations with neighbors as opposed to other countries of the world, because we believe that peace at the border is the most important for any level of economic development in India. Also, India sticks to the Gujarat Doctrine for better relations with its neighbors.
Okay, let's move to something else, okay? You've heard of National Digital University?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Who floated the idea?
National Digital. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay, just hearing the word National Digital University, it has some obvious advantages, right? But what are the disadvantages of having a digital, system for education?
For education at large, if we talk about having the disadvantages, the digital education at large, ma'am, even till now, we feel there's a digital divide in India. Access to, for example, laptops, computers, mobile phones is not totally present, especially in the rural areas, that being one. Also, ma'am,
And that is something that needs to be addressed. It's a shortcoming, no? But what is the disadvantage?
of digital education.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in my opinion, it is that it cannot compete with having one-on-one education and interaction.
Mhm.
I don't, even though digital education has its own merits, I
Mhm.
feel the kind of quality education that can happen
Mhm.
within the classroom with the first-hand interaction, that is
Yeah.
something that digital education, I don't think can replace. It can complement
Mhm.
it. We can provide courses along with that,
Mhm.
but as a replacement, I don't think it's a great idea.
So, what should be the way forward?
Ma'am, the way forward should be that we should not see digital education as replacing the first-hand common interaction that we have in schools and colleges.
Should we just do away with it?
With the
Digital education?
no, ma'am, this should complement it. This should not
Okay.
replace it.
Good.
We should build courses which add on value. For example, there are far-flung areas of the country from where such universities are not present. So for children there, we can extend these digital courses
Okay.
so that they add value to the education that they're already having there.
Okay, I'll ask you one last question. You mentioned the term global south. What do you understand by it?
Ma'am, by Global South, I mean the developing and less developed countries of the world, which are predominantly present in the southern hemisphere.
So, is it a geographical expression or is it something else?
Ma'am, it is not exactly a geographical expression because such developing countries can also be present elsewhere, but these are predominantly present in the global in the southern hemisphere, and that is why perhaps, in my opinion, the word Global South is used.
Okay, one quick one again. Is China global south?
Yes, ma'am.
It identifies itself.
Yes, ma'am.
But do you think it's global south?
Ma'am, there are different debates about it. I think it's about time that China takes the responsibility for being a developed country now, especially the time like climate emissions that it is
How
doing.
big is the economy?
Yes, ma'am.
Chinese.
Economy. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Muskan,
Yes.
what is this Kashi Naresh Hindi debate? Which Kashi Naresh is this?
Sir, I participated in a Hindi debate competition that happened in Rashtra Indian Military College.
No, what is this meaning of Kashi Naresh in this?
So the word Kashi Naresh means Raja, the king
I know
of
that. Was it any particular Raja who started the debate on whom the debate is, or just like that?
So it's Shri Vibhuti Narayan from Banaras, and in his honor, the debate is held at RIMCMT.
Okay. Now, you studied at the JNU.
Yes, sir.
You've been an active student, playing and debating, and
Yes,
right?
sir.
Now, it is said that about 7 lakh rupees is spent per student per year in JNU by the taxpayer.
Yes, sir.
Now, on the contrary, in other universities, the per student investment is much, much lower, government universities. How do you think it is justified?
Sir, I think it is justified, firstly, because I think rather than comparing to other universities and saying that this university is spending more, so it's wrong, I think it's about time we start investing on other universities as well, because education is a public good that we need to provide to people, and the government cannot shirk off that responsibility. I think JNU is a good model that people can look at and learn from. At the same time, I'm also against misuse of the government resources. I feel as a student of JNU, we can create a graded system wherein people who are from less privileged sections of society can have greater access to government.
That's already being done, isn't it?
No, sir. Sir, it's not being done.
Anyway, what is the USP of JNU?
Sir, in my opinion, the USP of JNU is that it represents the diversity of India organically. There are people from all parts of the country, from all social and economic strata, studying under the same roof, and it lets people be who they are. That is, I think, the USP of JNU.
Do you think JNU is a little more fond of agitations and taking up issues which others are comparatively, not prone to? Why so?
Sir, firstly, I think JNU provides that kind of intellectual environment And when that intellectual environment and education is provided, sometimes people also go for ideas which are a little extreme and radical for the society to hear at first. But at the same time, sir, this is a slogan that we say in JNU, "Padho Samaj Badalne Ko." That is what we actually practice also in JNU. If there's something that we think that deserves our attention, and if we think we can be a voice for the society, the students do take that step also.
You play badminton.
Yes.
You play badminton national level.
Yes.
What is the weight of a shuttle?
I'm sorry, sir, I do not know the exact weight of a shuttle.
What is the weight of a racket?
Sir, a racket can weigh about, sir, I can take a guess, but I'm not sure.
Take a guess.
So it could be around 50 grams.
Okay. PT.
There are rackets of, they're very light.
Okay. PT Usha uses a racket which weighs 85 grams. Standard is 80 to 100. All right. What is the size of the badminton court?
So it is about 40 feet long. 40 feet long.
Okay, it is in meters, 14.7 meters diagonal.
So meters, I'm not sure, sir.
चलो कोई नहीं, मीटर और फीट में कितना फर्क होता है?
Sir, so of course, sir, काफी फर्क होता है.
कोई बात नहीं, देख लेना. Coming to our foreign service choice, what is tide aid?
Tide aid. Sir, aid that is provided to a state with also certain stipulations how that aid can be used.
Like what?
Like, sir, if sir, I'm not sure, but if I may say, like, for example, if aid has been given, it can be used for certain uses only. Suppose, for example, investment in social sector, in the education sector.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Read about it, huh?
Okay, sir.
Important area. Now, what is the difference between grant and assistance?
Grant and assistance. So they're both
कोई बात नहीं, no problem.
I can take a guess, but I do not want to go wrong in that, so I'm refraining.
Take a guess. You asked, now you can take.
So, in terms of the foreign, you're talking about the aid, right? So grant is assistance is a help which can be other than monetary also. I feel it doesn't have to be monetary assistance only. It can be in different ways. But grant is a monetary aid that is given to a country, for example, for a project or for importing essentials, etc.
Okay. Generally, all right. Grant and loan, what is the difference?
The loan is the money that has to be returned to the country that is given.
What is gunboat diplomacy?
So gunboat diplomacy is is when a country uses its hard power, displays its hard power to show its strength. For example, the Chinese naval ships in the Taiwan Strait can be seen as China putting forward its hard power on ground.
What is India's current trade deficit?
So India's current trade deficit. Sir, I'm sorry, I can't recall.
What you don't know, read about. Huh?
Yes.
Not relevant to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Muskan, your formal interview is over. How do you assess yourself?
So I think there were knowledge gaps that I need to work on.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm good. Thank you. There were knowledge gaps I need to work on. The trade deficit, especially. I could recall the fiscal deficit, the 6.8% of the GDP, but I couldn't recall the trade deficit.
Can you tell me the land borders countries again?
Yeah, you mentioned one or two. Which one there?
I said
Started with Afghanistan.
You did
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, no?
We don't have a land
Small,
border.
very small border.
No, we don't have.
Pakistan.
Yeah, we don't have.
That Gilgit-Baltistan,
It's
There's
not
a
with us.
small patch.
18 kilometers is the gap.
That is not with us. It's under Chinese control and Pakistani
What
control.
you do, you go ahead and read it back again.
Yes.
Okay.
ma'am. Yes. ma'am.
And just remember the name, offhand, 5, 4, 6,
Yes,
whatever,
ma'am.
no?
Yes.
So you don't have to be counting because
Okay.
galti ho gayi, no?
That's right.
When is your interview?
The date is not.
You've got plenty of time. So you have a very impressive personality. You are very articulate, and you are one of the better ones at the higher end. I would say top 10 to 15% people who can get through, and you have a way with words. The only thing is that you need to give it a pause. You need to pause a little bit before starting answering because you tend to miss out on points.
Yes, sir.
You tend to miss out on the good points.
Yes.
When you start answering very fast, you start replying like a machine gun immediately. So I would suggest you give it a pause. But wherever you know the answer, you respond very well. Your answers are excellent.
Thank you, sir.
When you think and answer. When you are asked to think about something and answer, your answers are excellent. When you are asked to think about answer about factual knowledge, then you rattle off things, missing out the important points. That's the difference. So if you can slow down your pace a bit and maybe study a bit more on the general knowledge front because you've still got a month to go and practice a little more, you should come out with flying colors. Nobody can stop you.
I'll just add a few things. You see, just taking on from here. Again, it's the first 10-15 seconds which are the most important. When I say why Egypt, today's time is not to rebuild ancient times with any country. You understand? You should have started with Egypt's strategic importance, which you came with at point number 3.
Yes, sir.
The other things, as I said twice, when the fellow has already arrived and you are giving a dinner in Rashtrapati Bhavan, then you talk about old ties, 5,000 years old and all that. Okay, those are the pleasantries which all ambassadors do, right? All politicians do. So, again, the same suggestion, whenever it's something which you already don't know, pause, you have a very fertile way of, quickly responding to questions. Think the answer, use the correct words and the sequencing.
Yes.
The first 10 seconds will make or mar your answer. So come out with the best part right in the beginning. And pausing will give you a control over your ideas and your words.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just one suggestion. JNU immediately sparks off CAA, why this, why that.
Yeah, expectations.
Expectations.
Certain kind, yeah.
It's an intellectually fertile ground. Don't speak too much about it, but you do not have to be defensive at any point. It's an institution which you have joined, and you have to be proud of it. That's there. And quite a few times, the interview board will try to lure or how should I say, provoke you into an answer.
Yeah.
Don't fall for that. We will deliberately provoke you and needle you into
Lose your cool.
to make you lose your cool. Right? So learn through that game that you will not be provoked. बिल्कुल सहज तरीके से you're speaking so naturally. It's an absolute pleasure to interview you. Okay, keep at it. I think some part of your nervousness somewhere is showing. Right? Sometimes your smile is forced. Your name is not forced Muskan.
Yes.
It's a natural Muskan. So please make use of it. Okay? Be as effortless as you actually are. You are answering very well. Please stay with it. Since your first choice is IFS, I would ask you to read every trip with the External Affairs Minister and the Prime Minister have made in the last 5-10 years, especially.
So would you like to answer the Argentina question?
Yeah. We went for lithium supplies.
Okay.
We went to offer Tejas. We have got a market.
के साथ तो bricks है ना, so you can't say नहीं है.
We already have that connect. Brazil के साथ तो है ही.
Yes, sir, but in general with the region, our trade in the past has been less.
It's a strategically oriented trip for lithium.
Lithium is a critical element for batteries.
Yes.
And we are going to the battery age, EVs, electric
We are
vehicles.
going to have Make in India initiatives out here.
Make in India, you need lithium.
The moment you read, Google, External Affairs Minister, previous one, present one, कहाँ गए, सुषमा जी कहाँ गई, late सुषमा जी, ये कहाँ गए, all that will appear. PM went to Mongolia, was the first PM to do so. Why? Nothing like old time.
Your foreign service and your number one and your JNU are going to invite a lot of questions.
Yes, sir.
Your JNU answers were really excellent, and your foreign service answers will be
diplomat in you.
एक आध चीज I'll also point out.
Ma'am, just let me complete. The expectations from you, being a candidate from IP, JNU with IFS as this thing, are very high.
Yes, sir.
So we will not be asking you उस देश की capital क्या है, उस देश की currency क्या है. We will be very opinion based. So be prepared for those opinion based questions,
And
madam.
IR also has a choice, no? I mean, like option. Yeah. International relations, so naturally,
Yeah.
you is expected to know. Sorry, ma'am, also.
आप पहले बोल
Please, ma'am.
Somewhere you said कि China's better economic policy, right? Better diplomatic policy. Economic diplomacy, better economic
In Nepal.
diplomacy, right? In Nepal. Now, don't give that opinion. Don't use the word better at all, because maybe China's diplomatic policy, economic diplomatic policy, but whether it's better or not,
Yes.
no, it's a big question mark. Somebody else may disagree, whatever.
It's predatory.
Just avoid that.
Up to-
I mean, a second, one more thing. Yeah, 1999 G20. While factual may be asked, may not be asked, but when I asked, you started counting the countries' land borders. So somebody can just ask you a factual question also. So thoda to you need to be sure of the facts also.
Yes.
Okay? Even the budget for that matter, you need to be kind of have a few statistics. After all, senior bureaucrats ko statistics ke basis pe kitni cheezein karte hain.
I haven't read the budget yet.
Yeah, no, we didn't ask you either,
Yes.
no? But you must read because
That's true,
there's still time. So, these two things, because I thought I might just forget 1999 for G20 and this better economic policy thing.
Yes.
And of course, others have addressed other things. You actually, were answering your questions very fluently. You're very articulate
China's
and
policy.
you have a positive, attitude, demeanor, disposition, everything, which, from JNU, thoda sa elite bias rahega logon ko fir bhi. They'll try to needle you and stuff. Just stay cool. Sorry. Yeah.
See, one or two small things. When I'm with the factual questions, nobody can know answer to all the factual questions.
Yes.
So you are rightly saying, let me guess, I may be wrong, I may be right, this is just my wild guess. आज है, I don't know. I am not able to recall, but I have not read about it. कुछ भी बोल सकते हो, उसमें भी आपको कॉन्फिडेंस कम करने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Yes, sir.
रिमेन कॉन्फिडेंट. पूरे इंटरव्यू में, रियल इंटरव्यू में आपके 2, 3, 4 क्वेश्चन ऐसे जाएंगे.
Yes.
आप ये मान के चलिए, ठीक है? तो पहले ही उसको सोच के चलिए. सेकंड, जब मैंने पूछा कि आईपीएस आपने नीचे को रखा, उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा डिफेंसिव होने की जरूरत नहीं है. बोलो आउट ऑफ 20 सर्विसेज इट इज स्टिल माई 6th चॉइस, बट आई फेल्ट दिस सर्विस आई एम बेटर suited. This is my just matter of since I have given 1 to 20 choices. I agree that many people give it higher choice, but I don't have anything against the Indian Police Service. It's doing a great job. If given to me, I'll be very happy to join. So just diplomatically, just that's fine. Otherwise, all good.
वैसे आपका आंसर वाज ओके.
हाँ.
सर्विसेज के लिए दिया था, व्हाई यू चूज दैट इज परफेक्ट.
Good answer.
इट्स अ गुड आंसर.
Yeah. I have very high hopes from you. Okay.
सी आपकी पर्सनालिटी को देखते ही जो है ना एक्सपेक्टेशन हाई हो जाती हैं. यू सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन यू एंड द अदर पीपल हु आर कमिंग फॉर इंटरव्यूज. सो यू आर एट द टॉप 10, so automatically they'll start asking you better questions.
Yes.
More difficult questions or opinion, seeking your
It's
opinion.
natural because JNU is hotbed for debates and stuff.
And you should take the interview as a sort of a discussion, a conversation, not like answering tuck, not an exam.
Yes.
And say,
Yes,
don't show your tension. Don't do this.
You are not looking 10, confident 10.
No, बस हाथ की तरफ में.
Sir, anything?
Yeah. In my view, you are starting with an advantage. You can be very good material for the foreign service.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. But they will look forward to your knowledge on international affairs current international affairs, economic aspects of diplomacy, foreign trade, etc., and general demeanor for that job. Because somehow it so happened that over the years the foreign service is not attracting the best of talent. So you have that natural. So therefore, prepare all those areas very well. That's why I just hinted to you some of them. Your tidied and untidied answer is not on the dot. Okay, you can, but you touch upon all this. Otherwise, I'll have to take a coaching session separately. Badminton, you said national level play. You have to know these things.
I'll read about it, sir.
Idea was just to tell you that where all you can be foxed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was it. Kashi Naresh, straight come to the point. Best Kashi Naresh. वो तो meaning सबको पता है सब राजा of Kashi is involved. Otherwise, you are very good. You will definitely make it. You have time. Read this daft things
The
and
first interview call in UPSC.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
रिटर्न में मार्क्स कैसे थे?
किसमें?
रिटर्न में अच्छा नहीं, इसका पता ही नहीं
No,
होगा.
this is the first time.
Yes.
वो तो बाद में मिलेंगे.
पिछली बार रिटर्न में कितने नंबर थे?
So this is the first time
First
I gave my.
और रिटर्न में you didn't, but number
ठीक है, this is the first time you
You make
good.
it.
You'll do it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your confidence level is good. Yeah,
Thank you.
and articulation as well.
Thank you.
We really all hope to see you there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Enjoy, relax.
Thank
We don't get tense. Just
Don't let it be a forced.
keep reading.
you're an excellent foreign service candidate. Don't worry.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the best.
All the best.
These are nice.
Yeah.